Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Connor Collectibles here. Alright, today we're gonna go over how I made these leather tabards made out of real lambskin leather. Alright, I've seen a lot of videos online how to sew a Jedi costume, like the outer tunics, the inner tunics, the robes, the pants. I've never seen anybody go over, the Anakin style leather tabards. All right, so it is constructed in 16 individual pieces that are sewed together. There's 8 on the left side, 8 on the right. They are sewn in the centers of your waistline, and they also have a seam line that's up at the top of the shoulders, and that is screen accurate to Anakin's costume in Revenge of the Sith. A lot of people think that it's fabric on the back too. I've seen that, but it's actually just, like I said, 16 pieces and everything, and it's layered on the back, and that's it. There's no fabrics involved. It's just straight up leather. All right. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Okay, and I label them, which I'm gonna go over more. I'm gonna teach you guys how to sew it too. I label it, the front top, front bottom, back top, back bottom. Okay, and again, they are layered, like I said. So I'm excited to get started with this, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, we are back. Okay, so right now I'm just going to go over kind of like the tools you'll need and start making templates for you to actually, put it on your fabrics and patterns, whatever you choose to use. So obviously the first thing you're gonna need is a ruler or a measuring tape. Rulers have, straight edges. I recommend a metal one. Okay, you're going to need a fine tip. All right, so you can get close to that edge. All right, when you decide to transfer to the paper, or not the paper, the leather itself, it's better to have more of a regular tip from a Sharpie. Obviously, to cut out your pattern, you're gonna need a pair of nice scissors, and I recommend, instead of getting fabric scissors or anything like that, pick up a pair of these right here. This is a rotary tool, I guess you could say. But it's a rotary cutter. It's kind of like a pizza cutter. You press this in and you pull down, and then the blade comes up. All right. Obviously, you're gonna need cutting mats. I have 2 big, cutting mats that I have taped together that it covers this whole table when I'm done, so I can lay everything out and I don't have to, like, if say this is the piece, right, and it like overlaps and you have to cut this way, I don't have to slide it over onto the mat and cut it. All right, so I do recommend you getting some big cutting mats and everything. All right, so I will be back when the template is all done. So just to be clear, I'm only doing a small kind of template for you guys to, just understand the process on how it's constructed. All right, so we have our first, we're gonna call, like I said, the front top. Okay, this is going to be on top of your shoulder, that seam, and this is going to be your waist seam. Obviously, you're gonna measure from the top of your shoulder down to the waist, or the center of where your sash around your waist lays. Okay, and then you're going to measure from that center point all the way down to how long you want it to, rest on your thigh, 2 inches above the knee, whatever. But as you can see, this top is flat and this is at an angle. You don't want the angle to be too, apparent. A lot of people say it's a Y shape, which it really is and everything. But when you put it together, okay, and you put that seam, right, I'm just showing you, okay. So these run parallel now, and these shoot out a Y. You want it to be a little Y because when you put it on, this is going to lay flat on your chest. This side kind of untucks a little bit, and it gets this to lay flat in front of you. If you have a big Y like this, right, and then you have the pieces and the angle is like so big, Then you lay this flat on your chest, right? This part untucks a little bit, and then it does this, okay? And you will get a V, a noticeable V in the front of your bottom of the outer tunic area, okay? So again, try to keep that angle, you know, noticeable, but you still want it to be a small angle, all right? So again, front top, back top. This is the seam I'm going to show you how to do, and then obviously sewing the back side to it as well. All right, so I will be back when I have laid this on my leather and cut it out. Here we are with the leather and the template put on it. Okay, this is my leather. It is a lambskin, dark chocolate brown. It may look black, but when light hits it, it's a very noticeable brown, just like in the movie. I think this color is absolutely beautiful. Now, when you purchase your lambskin, you're going to get it in hides, okay? And it's basically in a weird shape and stuff. So you're gonna need 4 of them. I purchased 4 hides from a man called Nathan Andrews. He owns a shop called Thread Layer, which I will link in the description. He has all the screen accurate materials that he's sourced and everything. He's been doing costuming for 20 years, and I couldn't recommend him anymore. He gives great advice, and if you have any questions and stuff like that, he's the man to go to. So basically what I have here, again, I have also labeled it here and here on the leather. You're going to use your natural normal tip to put it on. So you're just obviously putting it next to each other because they are the same seams and everything, and laying flat and stuff like that. You're going to just put it next to each other. So when you cut through there, it's not going to take away from the material or anything. So that's when you grab your rotary cutter and your cutting mat. You're going to place obviously on that so you don't cut through your table or anything like that, and you're just going to follow that line, okay? Just like so, and it's simple. It cuts very easily, so you don't want to mess that up. You want to be on your guidelines, okay? Obviously, you rotate so you're not cutting at certain angles. Put the scraps to the side. All right, now you got your pieces cut out, okay? Now we're gonna go over how to sew them, okay? So we're gonna move this away now. Basically, you want it so your seams and everything are on the inside of the tabards, okay? You don't want to see any seams except for that stitch line, okay? So you're going to place this one down, okay? And then you're going to match up this leather with this leather, okay? Just like so. Now they match up. It's a perfect fit, all right? If you cut it correctly and did your templates. Because when you put it through the sewing machine, okay, it's going to slip around. It is very slippery. It doesn't stick. If you were to put this side together, then yes, it sticks because of that material right there. But this is so slick that it wants to move around. So I'm gonna go run and grab the item I need for it not to slip around, and I will be right back. And we are back again. All right, there's gonna be a lot of cuts and pans to different sections of the video, so bear with me. This is what we call leather tape, okay? I tried sewing it first, and luckily I only got through the first 2 stitches and it was bunching up, and I didn't ruin the leather. So don't make a mistake by trying to sew it really fast because you're eager to get it done, okay? It's better to have the right materials before you start sewing, okay? So what you want to get, this is from Angel Craft, and it is a flexible leather tape, and it's double-sided. So obviously you're gonna take a piece here, right? Make sure it's kind of the same size. Take your scissors and cut it, all right? And then you're going to lay it at the very edge of your leather, just like so, all right? So it's gonna look just like that, all right? It doesn't matter if it goes to the very edge. And then you're gonna try and carefully, if you have nails, it might take a while, and peel it up. Now you just have the glue, okay? It's not really glue. I don't really know what it is, but we'll call it glue for now because it is sticky. Then you're gonna line up this part, right? This portion of it up here with that. Make sure that it's corner to corner, or at least centered. Okay, now it's on there, all right? It's not that perfect or anything, but even when you flip it over, that's kind of what you want to happen, all right? Now I'm going to get my sewing machine out, and we are going to start sewing, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So bear with me. Right, now that we're back, obviously you're going to need a sewing machine, all right? So I'm going to go over the tools you need for this as well. Obviously, you're still going to need that same pair of scissors to cut the thread after you have sewn it, so you can detach it from the thread that's in here, the bobbin, and the thread that's coming from up top. You're going to need a set, but you only need one of them, of leather needles. So this is 130 705 HLR. Okay, I got mine at my local Joann Fabrics. I would talk to someone in there that knows about leather as well to see if you can pick up this. Next thing you're gonna need, the basic foot that's on here. So there's a foot right here that I'll pull off. This is usually the regular foot. Now this can get stuck on leather or any type of fabric, and it'll bunch up your fabric no matter what it is, all right? So it is recommended that you purchase a roller foot, okay? I got mine on Amazon. It was a set of 4. It comes with 2 Teflon foots and 2 roller foots, and it was about $7. So it was relatively cheap, and it fits on your low shank. Low shank means that this is low already and it's not sat up high, okay? And again, it just fits right in there, all right? Good to go there. All right, next thing I want you guys to do is set it to about the halfway mark, either 2.5 or 3. Mine was on 3. That is your tension, all right? And also, I'm gonna slide this over. You have your, basically what kind of thread and the way it's going to be stitched, all right? Your 6 through 11 is your straight stitch. That's what you want to use, okay? But you want to put it on 10. It's the farthest away. You don't want it to continue to like go straight through every, however small that is. You want the biggest one. So I put it on 10, okay? Now that you have that all set up, they said you should use nylon on leather, but I bought nylon thread, and it was just like rolling away, and it wasn't sewing properly. It was too loose, so I stuck with my normal threading, which is just the regular, and it worked just fine. This leather is relatively thin. It is 1.5 to 2 ounces of leather, so I have no problem when I sew it. but it's up to your specification on what you want to do. Alright, so the next thing is when I start sewing, I make sure I know what my seam allowance is. I went with a 1/2 inch on my tabard, so you can actually see the seams after it's all said and done, just like in the film. So the 1/2 inch for me is like kind of where these 2 black dots are. You can see the measurements up at the top. If you're not sure, all you have to do is take a ruler and kind of measure out where your needle sits on the line. You can take the foot off and pull the needle down and then measure it out. So again, mine is already set to where I want it, and I know where I need to sew. So I'm gonna pop this in here right now. Okay. And then this little lever back here, you can kind of see the tip pointing out. You're gonna pull that down. That's going to lock it in place, okay? You could still probably pull it out and everything, but it ensures that it's going to stay there and it's not gonna move around. Then you're gonna drop, there's a lever on this side that you drop the needle down. Don't go through the leather, just drop it to it. And then start sewing. And again, my 1/2 inch seam allowance, and here we go. Alright, you're gonna pull it through, and then I usually take the back of it. I don't pull it tight, I just make sure that I'm guiding it on that line of my my 1/2 inch where it's marked. And don't go too fast or too slow. It could bunch up if you go too slow, and it could, you can go off balance, or get it uncentered if you go too fast. So just go at a little pace and everything. And again, like I said, you're gonna take those scissors and cut off the thread. And here you go. Now you have something that's stitched together and that's not going anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna go and do the other one, and I will come back when it's all said and done. Pushing the sewing machine to the side for right now, I'm going to show you how I get this to lay flat inside of my tabards for your basically shoulder seam, your waist seams, and lower back seam. Okay, so you're just going to, pull it apart. It shouldn't be permanent because you just stuck it on. Everything, maybe over time the glue would settle and it'd be permanently stuck and harder to get off. But then you're just gonna take your finger and kind of rub at it until it rolls up. Then you're gonna take your fingernail or whatever and just pull it off, okay? And get rid of it. So now you have this loose kind of flaps at the bottom here. You're going to take that same leather tape, if I can find it. And I found it. And this time, you're going to go, so where the seam is, you're gonna go on the inside seam, okay? So where that thread is. And you're just going to place it down kind of on there like that. And cut that off, all right? So now you should have something like this. So the flaps are up here, and then obviously when you flip it inside out, it's like that. You want that, okay? Again, you're going to peel that off. Like I said, it's tedious, so now you have that. And then you're going to roll this like that and press down. Start from the center so you don't bunch up any of the material. And now you have something that's laying flat, okay? And you're gonna do it to the other side. Okay. Same concept. Cut it off. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the length of the actual thing itself. And then I typically like to pull it out so it's like flat like this and press and go from the center and boom. Now you have this nice flat surface in the center, okay? So when you flip it over, it looks like this. Yeah, you can kind of see through it, but when both leather tabards are sewn together, both sides, it should automatically lay just like that. I'm gonna do it to the second piece, like I said, so when it's in there, all right, it's gonna be like this. So I'll be right back again. All right, now that we have our flat pieces of leather, the seams are flat now, all right, that's what you want. You are going to put this on here, all right, the same concept. Now you take your tape. Your tabards are gonna be really long already. So again, try and get it on the edge as possible. When the tabards end up, you have that Y shape, you're probably gonna have to, turn it a little bit and whatnot, but you'll get it to lay the proper way. All right. And again, there you go. It's on there. What I do and what helps me when I take this up, just a little bit, do this side. Okay, now that I have that side and I can flatten that out a little bit just like that. I like to line it up on there while it's like this, and then I will stick down that side right there. So now I know that it's lined up, it's together. I'm going to pull this out a little bit, line it up again, just like that, and then hold it down here and pull this out. So that way, when it's lined up, all I have to do is come in here and just press it down. And now they are together, okay? Like I said, it does not have to be perfect like that, like I did. If you want it to be perfect, there's futzing around and stuff, but when you sew it, you sew in a straight line and it should be good to go. Again, you're gonna run it through the sewing machine. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm going to do this side, and then I will show you how to do the same process on these pieces. Here we are done with the sewing machine. Everything is sewn up. You can cut the threads away if you want to, but again, this is just for demonstration purposes. I'm not trying to make it too perfect or anything like that, but again, same concept. You're gonna take the one that you had here and you're going to take it out, okay? Then you're gonna put it on the seams just like so, parallel to it. Pull this off. I like to start from, the bottom and work my way up. So I have, because it's going to be a bigger piece. And again, you're pressing your fingers to make it flat against your seam there. This is going to ensure that it's not going to, roll up on you when you put it back, okay? So there you go, first side done. Other side. And now you have this flat part, all right? And I will be back when it's all done. So here we have it. All the seams are pressed with the tape, the leather tape, double-sided tape. Now we're gonna flip it inside out, if I can get it to do so. It's a lot easier when it's bigger. Alright, there we go. Now you have this nice seam in the center. Like I said, that would be your shoulder mark. And then you have these on the side, okay? I like to just fold them down with my fingers for right now. press. But this is typically what you want, all right? You can see there's a lot of, it wants to stay up and not lay flat right now. So now I'm gonna take you over to that process with the iron and the mallet. So we are outside now, all right? So basically, I recommend going to a harder surface. If you don't want the print of the concrete over here getting into your leather, obviously I wouldn't put it on such a hard surface. Lay a towel down, all right? Something soft but not like thick that it's going to press everything, so you don't scuff up your leather or put those prints of the concrete in it. All right, next thing you want to get, obviously it's going to be a larger piece when you're laying it out. I just grabbed a soft little washcloth and everything. It's really small, and you're going to need obviously a mallet and an iron. Okay, you're going to place this over your leather. Okay, you do not want to hit it directly with a hammer or a mallet. I recommend using a rubber mallet. It may be safer to use instead of metal. That's what they say to use for leather, but I was fine just using this. And then what you're gonna do is just pound at your seams so you can kind of see the shape of it. Make sure not to hit your fingers or anything like that. Alright, now it's getting flatter. You can see the seams are a lot thinner now that you've pounded it and you got those, those seams to lay down a little bit more. Your next step is you're going to take the iron. I'm sorry about the outside noise. And you're gonna iron it flat. You don't want it too hot. You will burn and melt your leather and you can leave imprint. So what I typically do is put it at my halfway mark on mine. If that's still too hot and you feel like you're gonna ruin the leather or anything, go down a little bit lower. Start off slow and then build it up if it's not working too well. Obviously it's going to be hot, so do not touch this with your bare hands. Please use caution when you're using these tools. All right, but then you're just going to place over, I'm going to do it long ways or diamond so it covers the whole thing. I don't know, ruin it. You're going to cover it, then you're going to place on it. They say hold it for like 5 to 10 seconds, but I usually just like do this and kind of motion it back and forth while I'm sliding it down the leather. Okay, do that the other way. Obviously this is relatively small, like I keep saying, so there's going to be differences. You're going to have to do one side on the bigger tabards other than covering this whole thing like this. But after you've done that, you can tell it looks a lot flatter now. So when you take it off, again, maybe that was too hot. You don't want that to happen or stick, okay? Now they're flat, okay? Over time, it will lay flatter, okay? So I'm gonna go back to the full costume and talk some more about that real quick, all right? So here we are back at the costume now, all right? This was our piece that we just made. Again, it has that center seam. This is like your shoulder seam. It is at an angle, even though these pieces are sticking out and everything. Obviously, I didn't do it perfect. Like I did these. I took my time on these. I just wanted to get you guys to, the feel of it, how, to put it and construct it together. Over time, it will lay flatter, okay? So as you wear it and stuff like that, it's going to lay flatter. It's already pretty flat, and I absolutely love it. Again, you can get this material, this lambskin, at Thread Layer. He goes by Nathan Andrews. It was a beautiful transaction. Shipped it next day. Well, actually, it took a while because he ran out of ink, but he had the label printed and everything, and he usually ships next day. He's very active when you ask him questions, and he'll reply back to you really, really fast. Again, you're gonna have to purchase 4 hides or maybe 5, depending how tall you are, how big you are, for it to be the desired length you want. I knew I was only gonna need 4 of them, and I had extra left over because I'm a pretty, you know, I'm not super tall, but I'm 5'10", and I weigh around 200 pounds. I'm not that big, but again, I absolutely love the material and how it looks. It may look black on, you know, in the video, but in person it has a brown tint to it, especially when you put your flash up to it. And I can't wait to show you guys the full costume when it's done, and I will go into detail about that on the mannequin. I'm currently in the process of moving, so I haven't been doing much on this channel right now, but I can't wait to produce more content for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed how to sew this up. So if you liked the video, comment, rate, subscribe, you know, like the video. It's appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next one.